Ayo, welcome to the Best Ever Podcast. It's your boy, Tru Sav, in the building. Another exciting week here in Oconda, California. Where are my manners? How are you guys doing? It's been a while. I haven't talked to you in a minute. I'm getting old. I'm trying to tell you, boy. Health is wealth. So, as I said, I had a surprise this time. I just found out that my wife planned a trip for us, which is always exciting. You never know where she's going to plan a trip to. She planned a trip to some islands in the South Pacific. I think it's pronounced Hawaii or something like that. I'm not too sure. Yeah. So I will be gone next week. I think we come back Monday night. So maybe I can squeeze in an hour. I don't know. We're supposed to have an episode of That's Not My Business for you guys today, but it's hard getting people together on time to do something for free. It really is. But that is all right. I digress. So that means, because next week is Super Bowl weekend. So we will be in Hawaii for the Super Bowl. So that means at 10 o'clock in the morning, we'll be watching the game. So hopefully I get up on time. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. She wants me to go surfing, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if me in a bodysuit is going to work, especially since sharks look for seals, and I'm going to be built like an elephant seal. I'm good. I don't know. I'm not too sure how that's going to work out. But I digress. I'm having so much time only having to work one job now. I'm running out of things to do. But I definitely will not get bored out of running out of things to do. Just hanging out. I'm actually getting to cook dinner now. I'm back on my hype. They knocked me off for a little bit, this 2-job thing, but now I'm starting to get my groove back like Stella. Starting to get the eating thing down. I made the chili this week. Fuego. What is it? Red, black, kidney, onions, bell peppers, mushrooms, garlic, jalapenos for a little flavor. I found a chipotle seasoning that doesn't have salt in it, so that was a win. Some garlic powder, cayenne pepper, always a necessity. What else went in there? I didn't go wild and throw the zucchini in there like I was going to. I stuck to the basics. What was it? Mushroom, onions, bell pepper, garlic, cayenne. Back on the smoothie hype too. So I've got it. I'm like a well-oiled machine right now. So I'll do a smoothie at nighttime. I'll make one for in the morning. So bam, smoothie is my dinner. I'll take the other smoothie in the morning to work. Chili's already ready. All I got to do is throw the vegetables in the pan, saute that thing one time. But it's got to be cast iron. Got to be cast iron. No Teflon, no none of that. Got to be. Keep your food hotter. No one wants to nuke their food in the microwave. That's another discussion for another day. Bam. That's dinner. Finish it off with a smoothie. I even started going to the gym in the morning. Y'all would be so proud of me, even though the gym is one floor down. And it's the most basic of basic. As the older I get, the more I realize your boy's got to stretch. It's not the gym that hurts. It's you got to stretch. Got to stretch when you get up. Got to stretch when you go to sleep. Even during the day, hit them with a little quick one. A little 5-10 minute there on the lunch break. Get you situated. Oh, feeling like $1 million. I was feeling like $250 the last couple of months. I'm not even gonna front. I had to get it back together. In the famous words of my man, Marshawn Lynch from right down the street in North Oakland, take care of your body, your mentals, and your chicken. It was the most profound words of 2020, I would have to say. Take care of your mind, your body, and your chicken. Because that's why today's the best day ever. You're not promised it. You got to make sure that you're enjoying it while you got it. Now, With that being said, on to the foolishness that is Dickie's barbecue pit. I I don't watch sports too often. It's not that I dislike them or anything like that. It's just I understand bread and circus when I see it. Now, some of the people I work with, they still enjoy it. I don't try to ruin it for people. If that's your thing, I'll give you the once over. Like, hey, this is my opinion. This is what I think it is. But enjoy yourself. If that's what you want to do, get together, friends and family, do your thing. I'm not mad at you. What I am mad at is there is this guy, one of the dishwashers in the back, and he hates the 49ers. And so he always talks about, oh, the Niners are trash. The Niners are trash. I'm like, well, my man, I mean, they are in the playoffs. So for weeks, me and him have been going back and forth. And I have to admit, I have been antagonizing him a little bit. And I've been trying to help him out. I've been trying to put him up on game a little bit. It's like, if you're going to bet, you need to understand what you're talking about. You need to understand how to bet. You need to understand the different players on teams. You need to understand schemes, stuff like that. He's just, I don't like this team, so I bet on him. So I let him live. So finally, the Super Bowl is coming, and 49ers are in the Super Bowl. Last game of the season, big game. So my man, he's starting to feel himself. So he tells me how the Niners are trash and they're going to lose. So I tell him, okay, well, put your money where your mouth is. I'll bet you $20 49ers win. So he's like, 20, that's it? Well, bet 100. I'm like, oh, I've been in this situation before. Where betting coworkers' money is never a good situation. Because if you win, okay, you won, but now, especially when you start getting a large amounts of money, like that's always an issue. So I try to stay away from that. He kind of boxed me into it because we're in the break room. There's a lot of people around. I'm trying to play it cool, but my man said he wanted it, so you got to give the people what they want. This is what he wants. He can get it. So I told him, I was like, look, well, I'm not going to be in town. I'm going to be in the South Pacific for about a week. So he's like, oh, it's cool. You can cash at me my bread. I was like, cash app? Like, what is that? And so all of the people in the break room, because everyone in the break room's under 25, you don't know what Cash App is? Oh, my goodness. You don't have a Venmo, PayPal, something. I was like, nah, bro, I'm old. I just give people cash if I owe it to them. Like, I just go to the bank and, oh my gosh, but what if I need it right now? So I'm like, all right, well, pull my coattails of this. Like, put me up on this. Like, what is this? So apparently it's some kind of, I don't know. Basically, it's like a way to transfer money. And I guess it goes directly to your bank account if you hook it up through a debit card, something like that. It was new to me. I had no idea. So I put my little information in. So now you have to make a name. Like, of course, mine would be Tru Sav. So the young lady next to me, I was like, well, what should I make the name of my Cash App be? And without missing a beat, she looks me dead in the eye and says, Tru Sav, your name should be Bounce That Ass 23. I said, what? Wait a minute. First of all, why is my name Bounce That Ass? And then why 23? She's like, I don't know. It just seems like something cool that you would have as your name. Like, you'd be telling, yeah, send my money to Bounce That Ass. I was like, you are the funniest person that I know. Like, I'm going to miss you when you finally quit because you are hilarious. She's, oh my goodness. All right. So me and him make that bet. Obviously I'll have something to talk about next week. We'll see who wins, even though I know you guys don't care. But maybe with that $100, we can get some theme music around here. That's what I need to do. We're going to get some theme music because I know you're tired of me just hitting you with the Ayo. So maybe we'll get some intro music, some outro music. If you know anyone who does music, of course, I pay for everything that I do. So if you know someone who does music, makes beats, anything like that, best day ever. podcast at gmail.com. Send me a link, something, or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I will pay for your services. I'm not the I'll do it for the exposure type of person. Nah, because we need to get that together. I need some more art for this PS4 situation. But I digress. So while we're in the break room too, like I said, I'm been taking care of my body and my mentals. Definitely my chicken. So I try to pass it forward to people in the break room. Like, yo, don't be eating this spicy cheddar sausage sandwich with extra bacon on top and hold the cheese. And I mean, I understand, like, everyone's not going to be able to jump on the healthy eating wagon the first day, but it's a process. One of the ladies I talked to last week, we did a breakdown of her finances, and she was spending, I think we did the math, she was spending like $2,000 a month on food. Like, just between takeout and ordering stuff from DoorDash and Grubhub at lunch. And then between the two kids, and I was like, just think about how much money you could save if you switched to raw fruits and vegetables. And the conversation came up because she was asking me how she could lose, I can't remember, a certain amount of weight in like 3 weeks. And I was like, look, I mean, you can do it, but you're going to turf your body. If you're going to do something like that, here is how you would do it. And she, I think, again, it's more from leading by example. When people see you doing it, then they're a lot more apt to listen to your advice. But if I'd been in there eating round table and ho-hos, ding-dings, or whatever, what is it? I don't know what they're called. Ring-dings, whatever it is. Then people would be less likely. But when it's like, I can show you a picture of last year, what I looked like at the wedding, when I looked like a subdivision. And now I look like a quaint suburb. Like, not as big. But people are more willing to listen. And especially if it comes from a place of, I have this information if you want it, and not me being condescending and being like, oh, why are you eating that trash? This and this. You're going to get hypertension, whatever. Like, that's not my place. And I feel like people can tell if you're being open and honest about it. And a lot of time, I'll make a separate self-deprecating joke every now and then, so that people understand, like, I'm not on this high horse about it. Like, I'm in the trenches just like you are, trying to figure this out. I don't have a monopoly on information. But yeah, she came to me and it was funny because every day she would come to me and be like, I didn't eat out last night. I ate some soup, or I made something with the food that we had at the house, or I told the kids we couldn't go out to eat. And I was like, that's what's up. Like, I understand it's not going to happen as fast as you would like it to happen. Like, change is always going to take time. But I'm glad that you can see, because I can talk to you all day about it, but when you start to see the changes in your health, in your pocketbook, like my man said, your mental's in your body and your chicken, once you see it, it's going to make it easier to want to sustain that type of change. And I'm not even going to have to tell you. You'll know. And then, of course, you'll pass it on to other people, so on and so forth. And the circle of life continues. So, in other married news, gentlemen, I finally struck a win for us on the masculine side of the marriage. I finally got my wife to admit she was trying to argue about nothing. They always say, oh, no, I don't be doing that. I don't be. Yes, they do. I finally caught her. I caught her in the act. Red-handed. So we're leaving, obviously. We're taking a mental health vacation. So it's not like a real vacation. I like to take a mental health day, at least like once a month. It's no phones, no emails, no TVs. It's just, it can be you by yourself. It could be with your partner if that's what you want to do. But just kind of take a step back from life in general. Kind of reset, get everything back together. Because, I mean, health is wealth. And when you start to overthink or you start to stress yourself out about certain situations, certain people, certain things you have going on in your life, that's when you can kind of overwhelm yourself. So this was apparently this wasn't even a mental health trip by my decision. She decided, a lot of things have been coming into place for us. We seem to be on the right track. Before we get distracted, let's start the new year off right. So I appreciate it. I am a curmudgeon and a frugal Freddy, to say the least. So I didn't want to go because of the price tag. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I would have preferred to sit at the house and do this. But I get it. You've got to experience stuff. And I'm the homebody, if there ever was a homebody. But I understand. Her and I need to be on the same page. I just need a break from the 60-degree weather. It is too damn cold. I need to work on my tan anyways. But I digress. So we're cleaning up the house because who wants to come back from a mental health trip to a dirty house? So I got off work. She had done the living room, bedroom, stuff like that. So I am doing the kitchen. And when I clean like rubber gloves, bleach for this, Clorox for this, Windex for that, like white, like serious cleaning. So I'm cleaning, I'm maybe 30 minutes in, and from the couch, she was like, she does that sigh. We all know what it is. So I was like, are you okay? Well, I just wonder why you don't want to hang out with me. I was like, excuse me? Well, I don't want to. What do you mean, sweetheart? I'm going to hang out with you for a week in the South Pacific. I'm confused. Well, just right now, like, I just feel like you don't want to hang out with me, and I'm just so sad just sitting here on the couch. So I kind of paused. I looked around, looked at my hands, saw the rubber gloves and the Clorox, and I was like, I'm kind of in the middle of something. Oh, so you're that's just more important than hanging out with me? Oh, I see. Fine. So I paused again, and I looked around, I was like, so let me get this right. You're mad at me because I'm cleaning the house. That's what you're saying. Not because I didn't say anything, I didn't do anything to you. You were literally trying to start an argument because I'm cleaning the house. Okay, so you'll never have to worry. And she thought about it. As soon as she said it, it was like, oh, how can I Deion Sanders backpedal out of this one? And I was like, no, there's no backpedaling. So I said, I tell you what, why don't you come here real quick? And I think I could fix this. So she gets up, hops up. Oh, okay, he's going to do something sweet. So I was like, turn around. So she has her back to me. I had asked her, I was like, are you mad? She's like, yeah, a little bit. So I take one of the towels that are on the counter and I ever so gently wrap it around. I put it over her shoulders so it looks like a cape. And I tell her, well, congratulations. Now you're super mad. Now fly your ass back over to the couch and sit down and shut the fuck up. So, of course, she throws the towel at me. She gets mad. Goes and sits down. Don't try this at home, fellas, because it might get you fucked up. But I thought it was hilarious. She didn't really appreciate it, but that's what marriage life is. Bothering each other until one of you leaves early. All right, so we clean the house. We do all that. I haven't hooped in a while, and I don't know. Once you start eating right, start going to the gym, all of a sudden, you get that little, hit that imaginary crossover, hit him with the fadeaway. It's like, it's time to go hoop. I haven't hooped in a while. I'm feeling like $1 million. So we go to the 24 on High Street, and we usually it's a game of horse, free throw shooting competition. Like, I'm not really no need for the one-on-ones yet. No need for 21s. I'm not trying to hurt myself. I'm not trying to do too much one day. I'm old. That's the last thing I need is to get hurt whooping her ass in a game of 21. which I'm still undefeated in. She's never beat me in 21. She beats me in horse and all this other shit, but never in 21. Now, we get to the gym, and I get thoroughly worked. I lose the first game of horse. I think it was horse to H, and the second one I tried to make a comeback. So I was like, well, let's do the free throw contest, because I know I got you in the free throw contest. Wrong. I got worked again. Now, the way the free throw contest is, we do best out of 10. So the first person goes, they make their shots, the second person goes, so on and so forth. Basic stuff. So the first time I'm not dialed in. I'm hitting like 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Now I've warmed up a little bit, took my sweater off. Now I'm hitting 8 out of 10. And would you fucking believe it? This lovely person who I married starts busting them. She's hitting 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. And I'm just like, well, it just wasn't meant to be today. I just don't got it. So, of course, being the sweet, delicate flower that she is, she unmercifully talks shit for the rest of the day. You ass, nigga, you ass. That's why I beat this. Like, yeah. You still don't want to see me at 21, though. It's all right. So, yeah. I had a great week, but this weekend was not good for my ego, especially since I'm supposed to be the athletic one. But that's all right. I can take my L. Well, after, damn, see, this was, I had stress this morning, feeling kind of old man winterish. After the ass whooping I took at the gym, I came back and I started to do some, dare I say, internet research. And I realized that people are assholes. Like, and I mean that in every sense of the word. No, let me be more specific. I'm on the phone a lot, or I'm on social media a lot. It's just because interacting with people, seeing how people feel about certain things. And it is mentally exhausting dealing with some of this stuff. People just, I don't know if people are dumb or, again, like I had said before, this is the gift and the curse. While social media and the internet has provided us with a platform to share and discuss ideas, that would be the gift of it. The curse of it is it has diminished people's ability to communicate, which seems weird, because how can you on the one hand be able to provide information but then squash communication? I think I'm making it confusing by the way I'm saying it. It was like a teacher a long time asked me, goes like, if you had one superpower, what would it be? And everyone said, oh, to fly, shoot lasers, and super speed. And mine was, I would like the ability to communicate with anybody. And then I stopped myself. I was like, no, I want the ability to comprehend or understand everyone. And she's like, well, what's the difference? I was like, well, the difference is I can communicate with someone, but they may not understand what I'm saying, and vice versa. Like, I can tell you 2 + 2 is 4, but if you don't understand it, then it doesn't mean anything, and vice versa. So the internet has gave us the ability to communicate with each other, and social media. So you can talk to people, but that doesn't mean they're going to understand what you're saying. And I'm not going to understand what you're saying or where you're coming from. And I think that's the problem. Because before, you had to talk to someone face to face. And there's a balancing act with talking to someone face to face. Like, if I don't like what you're saying and I'm upset about it, I'm going to have to figure out a way to put my emotions to the side and still convey my point without yelling or screaming or resorting to ad hominem attacks, stuff like that. While the internet has provided a place to express ideas, it's also created a place where you can anonymously, or not even anonymously, you can out and out call people names, threaten them, and there's no real repercussions. Perfect example. I'm in. My man Phonetics put me in a group, 30, 30 and up, doing us. If you have some time, is that, yeah, 30 and up, doing us. If you have some time, go. It's interesting. It reminds me of a phrase my man Richard used to hit me with. Age doesn't mean wisdom. There's a lot of old fools out there, and this is it. Like, there's been a couple of conversations that have kind of been interesting before a certain group gets in there and messes it up. But for the most part, the breadth of the group is male and female gender roles. That's all they want to talk about. And then people think that by blocking someone, that means that you proved your point. So two people can be going back and forth. Usually the breakdown is something like this. There's a topic introduced. One person presents an opinion. A second person presents an opinion. If the first person disagrees with the second person, they usually revert to, well, you're stupid, you're ugly, are you married, nobody wants to be with you. Then the second person comes over the top with a lot of expletives. And it kind of regresses into that. People picking sides and just insulting people back and forth. Very rarely have I seen a conversation come to an amicable end where both parties discuss something and that's just it. Which is sad. I mean, it's not sad. That's the way it is. I guess social media just brings this issue to the forefront now, because before this would just be a conversation that would be held in private. It's now something that everyone can see, and I think it's harder for me because, well, my degree would have been in communication. I think I'm 15 units short. I got to do that to get my mom off my back. I had to get this degree together. Well, I had double majored in sociology and communication, and then when we moved here, I just kind of forgot because I had to work. But one of the classes that I took to get this degree in communication was, obviously there was 5 or 6 communications classes you have to take. The obvious and basic intro to speech. Do a couple whack ass speeches. There was a business one. It's like how to talk in corporate situations. Group communication. Jesus. There's some other one. I can't think of the 5th one. It was like, yeah, corporate group beginning. Speech writing. Oh, that was a fun one. Like for hour-long speeches. And then my favorite, argument and rhetoric. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Rhetoric and argumentation was my favorite one. Specifically for the fact that it taught you how to argue. And a lot of times when you hear the word argue, you think, oh, it's raised voices and being disrespectful. No, a lot of times what it would be describing is if you have for example, we had to argue if military service should be compulsory, meaning should it be required. So one group took the argument that it should be compulsory. I took the argument that it wasn't. And when I say I say because I had a group of 3 people who didn't do anything. So it was basically my argument against another 4 people's. And what it taught me was, a lot of times when you're arguing stuff, the information is right there if you look at it. This was a pretty simple one because no countries in the world really have compulsory military service aside from Israel. I wonder why they do. and a couple of other countries, but for the most part, most countries don't require military service. So the only argument that you could make would be a moral argument. And I believe in the United States, the only time they made it required, and this is different than the draft. The draft isn't the same as saying if you are a United States citizen, you have to serve 2 years in the military. That's the difference. The only time the United States can make you do something is in an emergency. So if there's a nationwide flood or earthquakes or hurricane, then they can kind of be like, yo, you've got to help. And if you don't want to help, then we're just going to throw you in jail or shoot you or some type of shit. But for the point of this class, it was interesting to see how emotional people would get in their arguments. And they couldn't separate facts from feelings. Like, these people were literally upset that I was like, no, it shouldn't be compulsory. And then here is why. These are the countries that do it. This is the time the United States said we had to do it. And they kept reverting back to, well, I think, well, that's just not right. And it's like, well, that's not how you discuss ideas. It's not a matter of how you felt about it or whether you feel it's right or wrong or I thought this. And that's kind of what I see every time I get onto any kind of post about social media is people don't know how to argue, number one. Number two, people don't know how to take criticism. That's a major one. People don't like being told that they're, number one, that they're wrong, or two, that someone has a differing opinion. Like, just the ability to respect other people's opinions is almost, it's not there. With the invention of the block button, people now more than ever are confining themselves to smaller and smaller groups that only identify with the same type of thinking that they do. Because now, if you disagree with someone, you don't even have to acknowledge that they disagree with you. I can just block you. And then after you block them, you could just tell people, oh, they were hating. I just didn't want their negative energy. It's like, but you were wrong. You said 2 + 2 was 5, and they corrected you. Oh no, you're a hater too. Blocked. And it's disheartening. It's sad. I guess it comes with the territory though. Whenever there's new technology, there's always going to be certain advantages and disadvantages. I'm noticing it a lot, especially with my employees. Like, you can't tell them, like, you have to be so delicate when offering criticism. Like, yeah, you did this good, but I need you to do this a lot better. Well, why? Like, why are you saying that? Like, well, that hurts my feelings. It's like, well, I mean, I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying this because this is something you need to improve on. Well, what about all the stuff I do good? It's like, well, yeah, that's fine. I get it. Like, you do something good, but here is room to improve. Here is something that you can also do better. And they've crippled themselves by only worrying about perfection and what the next person's doing. I had a girl quit. She quit last week to go to the armed services, to go to the military, because she said, and I quote, people are out there balling, living their best life, and I'm just here working at Dickies, not doing nothing. I was like, first of all, you're 19. Second of all, you don't know what it took for any of those people to get where they're at. So how can you judge your entire life based off of a snapshot of someone else's? And she's kind of looked at me and was like, well, I'm just trying to get this money. So I was like, you know what? God bless you. I hope that works out for you. Good luck. So, but yeah, man, especially, well, as I was diving deep into the abyss that is social media and the internet, some rather sad news crossed my timeline. My man Kobe Bean Bryant is up out of here. Uh, him, well, him and 9 other people tragically died, and it's always sad when anyone dies, not just famous people. And that was another reason that I had to get out of the internet for a second. So many well wishers and oh, we hope the family is okay and it's a sad day for Laker Nation and la di da di da la di da di da. I just don't get it. Don't get it. My man was a good basketball player. I mean, but the links that people went to show their condolences and people are calling out of work, and I get it. Like, I get it. You're a fan. Fan is short for fanatic. I get it. You have a strong emotional tie to this person that you've never met before. I get it. What I don't understand, well, let me set the tone. As you can see, I don't really like talking about famous people or sports, politics, religion, stuff like that, because it doesn't really have an effect on my life. And this all started January 25th, 2009. You're like, January 25th, what happened that day? Well, Michael Jackson died that day. So, of course, the world was upset. And for context, I understand that people are upset because you have an emotional connection. Like, if you're a Lakers fan and you're happy because this person brought you specific moments that made you happy in your life. I get it. I 100% get it. I'd be remiss to not understand that. The same thing with Michael Jackson. Yes, you may never have met him, but you enjoyed his music. It meant something to you. I completely understand all of that. Now, July 25th, 2009, my man Michael Jackson died. Another person also died June 25th, 2009. Farrah Fawcett. Completely overshadowed. Like, no one even thought about it. Like, whatsoever. It wasn't even a thing. Like, it might as well have just never happened. Now, this is important because August 24th, 2009, my man died. Now, this is important to the story because I remembered when it happened, and to me, the world just collapsed. And all I could think about was, damn, my friend's not here anymore. What am I going to do? How do I go on? Like, this was world shattering. And the only thing that people wanted to talk about was Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson died, Michael Jackson died, Michael Jackson died. And in my mind, all I could think was, but my friend is gone. Like, why doesn't anybody care about him? Like, he died tragically. Like, what are we going to do? What's his mom going to do? What's his brother going to do? Like, how do I move on? Like, I've never met Michael Jackson. I'm sure he's a nice person, and I liked his music too, but my friend's gone. How do I deal with this? Like, this isn't why why is Michael Jackson more important than my friend? And before you say, oh, well, he had a greater impact, it's like, well, to who? To who? Okay, you liked it, but it didn't move me like that. And that's not to say that one person is more important than the other, or one person is less important, but it bothers me when people are upset about the death of a celebrity or a public figure, which they have every right to be. It's in your personal opinion. But they don't seem to care about people in their neighborhood or the goings on of things that directly affect them. Like Kobe Bryant dying isn't going to affect you on your in your day to day life. It'll affect his wife and his loved ones and maybe the Lakers because they have a connection. Or when people posted things like, "Oh, life is so precious," this and this and this. It's like, well, where was that when 400 people got killed in Chicago last year, or 500 the year before then, or 650 the year before that, or 762? Like, where was all of that? Or just the people who die on a daily basis. Like I told you a couple weeks ago, a homeless lady died of exposure. She literally died in front of a 7-Eleven because no one gave a fuck. She was, oh, it's cold outside, you're homeless? Too bad. But now there's I can't even look it on my Facebook or my Instagram without every other thing. Kobe, 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 Kobe. And again, I understand. People deal with death in certain ways. That he affected you differently than this lady out in front of 7-Eleven. But I would have to argue that I feel like every life is important. It's a tragedy when anybody dies. And then, of course, there's the people who made that point and they said, there was 8 other people on the helicopter besides him. And then they come to find out that his child was there with him. That just made it even more horrific. It was it was a hard way to end what was a good day, or a great day, I should say. It's part of life, and it doesn't bother me that people do this. I understand why people do it. Everyone wants to be connected with the winner. Again, different things affect different people different ways. So I can't say I'm upset with people for doing it. I understand why people do it. That's fine. If that's your man or that affected your life in a positive life. I wish that people had these same kind of emotions to everyday things that happen. I wish they had the same kind of compassion or would be as vocal about things that happened that they actually had an effect on. But I mean, that's just my personal thing. I don't know. That's an odd segue. This, before this had happened, I actually got my wife to watch a movie that I like. And if you know her, you know this is a struggle because she doesn't watch movies at all. So to get her to actually sit through an entire movie was a win in my book. I guess I got 15 minutes. So I got time for a top 5 for you. These are movies about time travel. So like going back and fixing stuff, which I know we've all wanted to do at some point. We've all thought about it. If I'd have just said this, if I'd have did that, how would things have been different? Let's see. Honorable mention, off top. First one. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I was a Keanu Reeves fan before you were a Keanu Reeves fan. Here's the thing. I thought this movie was great, especially back in the day. Like, it was silly. Like, yeah, okay, they go back in time and kick it with Mozart and kick it with Abe Lincoln, all that type of stuff. Like, that's what's up. Like, I thought it was silly. Like, that's what time travel movies are supposed to be. Like, what was it? They were in a telephone booth, hurtling through time. Yeah. Spoiler alert: if you haven't seen it, it's 30 years old. Like, hurry up and go watch it. Honorable mention number 2: Hot Tub Time Machine. Again, another absolutely silly movie. The point isn't that it's silly. The point is that it's hilarious. I liked Hot Tub Time Machine because it wasn't like the rest of them. Like, your regular time travel movies. You go back in time and everything works out for the best. Like, this was Mm-mm, this was a shit show. And then part two, the part two is the first one was hilarious. Like they left my man in the future, and he was singing like Billy Joel songs and Michael Jackson songs and all these other people because no one had ever heard of them in this specific timeline. It it was funny. I got a good laugh out of those. That was a good one. Those two. Well, yeah, those two were pretty funny. Um, no, I didn't like that one. I was gonna give you a third one, but I didn't like that one. All right, top five. Going back in time and changing shit. Number five. If you haven't seen this, what are you doing? The Terminator. I guess you don't really think about it as like a go back in time movie because it's not really the prevalent idea. It's just the Terminator killing shit. But I mean, that's basically what the whole movie was him coming from the past to kill my man. If you again, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Terminator, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know. But yeah, that was the concept of trying to go back to change something in the future is always kind of tricky. As you see throughout the what is it, the 8 movies? Was it 1, 2, 3 generations? Something else. Like they lost me when they had Batman as the Terminator. That lost me. But still the premise was good. Good action and so on and so forth. I loved it. Number 4, Back to the Future. Still my favorite movie. I love that they got Biff right. Word on the street is that they got Biff from Back to the Future Part 2. They modeled that after our current president, which is fucking hilarious. I feel like that's what he would be doing. But I mean, again, um, I like this one because it kind of it gave you there was consequences in this one. Terminator was kind of you're shooting shit, so yeah, whatever. But there were still consequences based on your actions. So it gave you the alternate universe type of situation. Like if you go back and change one thing, then it could ruin everything. So that was interesting, even though it was still kind of funny and silly. Doc Brown, and if you're really interested, go to YouTube and there's a weird conspiracy theory thing about Back to the Future and some other stuff. Go check that out. That if you've got the time. Number 3, 12 Monkeys. Bruce Willis. I can't think of who else is in it, but it's the same thing. He's from the future. There's this outbreak called the coronavirus, something like that. Swine flu, something I don't remember. But he goes back in time, and he was like time traveling. Like he was in World War One. He was in the '90s. He was some other places, and this was bald Bill Bruce Willis. So you know it was a good one. I'm not gonna. That's another old one, but I'm not gonna ruin it for you. Coming at number 2, Bruce Willis again with Looper. I wasn't really feeling it in the beginning. It was kind of sci-fi for me, but again, it's the same thing. It talks about going back to change things, and when you change things in the past, do you inevitably set yourself up for failure in the future? So here, well, without trying to give away too much of the plot twist, cut us up there at the top. So I actually want you to watch this. Now, heads up, it's going to be rough because it's a non-linear. Anytime you have a non-linear plot in a movie, it's always going to be difficult to follow. Especially when they don't tell you when they're going back in time. They're just kind of hopping around. It's always weird. But Bruce Willis goes back in time, yada, yada, yada. And they can kill people. So what they do is, let's say I want to kill somebody in 2020. I'll zoop you back to 1985 and I'll kill you there and I'll just drop you off. So you'll just be a dead body and no one really thinks about it. But the problem is he's going back in time to try to change the present, his present, I guess. But by doing that, do you inevitably set up what happened in the future? Meaning that your present is the present based on decisions you made in the past, and by trying to change the future, are you inevitably setting it on course for what was already going to happen? It's philosophical. You got to watch it. It was a good one. It was a sci-fi one, so there's a whole lot of action stuff. Oh, I almost spoiler alerted you, but yeah, watch that one. By far, by far and away, this might be in my top. This might be top five all time. One of the favorite movies I like. Number one, Butterfly Effect with my man Ashton Kutcher. What was this? 2003, 2004. This was still when dude was fat. There's a guy in the movie. One of his roommate in the movie. I can't think of dude's name. I will look it up at some point. But yeah, my man he's got to be like 400 something pounds in the movie. He's like 215 now, 220. You know what? I gotta look it up because that's gonna fuck me up. So in the movie, basically, Ashton Kutcher has the ability to time travel and fix stuff. So he does what most people do. It Butterfly effect, for those who don't know, butterfly effect is a theory that it says the phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have large effects elsewhere. So it's, if a butterfly flaps its wings over the Pacific, it can cause a tsunami somewhere else. Like that's what people always say. So in the movie, that's pretty much what's going on. Is he discovers he has this ability to time travel, so then he's going back in time and trying to fix things, and when he fixes things, he inadvertently makes something worse for someone else, and on and on and on and on and on and on. But the way that it happens and the things that happen, like it's deep. Okay, here's my man, Ethan Suplee, American History X, Boy Meets World, My Name is Earl, Toby on Wolf of Wall Street. That guy used to be like $4.50. My man was a brick shit house. Went to the gym, got it together. It looks like a whole different motherfucker. So shout out to my man. But yeah, number one, Butterfly Effect. Please, for the love of God, go watch that movie. That was a good one. It makes it'll definitely make you think about going back in time. If I would have changed this and I would have changed that, like, nah, man. Like I say all the time, you are where you are because of the choices you made. It was meant to be. Maybe in another multiverse, you were that rich, suave, debonair person you were supposed to be. But in this one, you're not. You're working that job that you got. But it's all right. It's absolutely fine. I wish things were different. I wish the internet wasn't what it is. But unfortunately, it's what we got. And again, to come back full circle, my man's up out of here, and I'm struggling to think about it because I again, something's wrong with me. That's going to be the name of my first comedy special. I want to be sad that my man Kobe died, but I can't be. Not for him specifically, not for anyone specifically. I don't really feel bad when people die anymore because I don't know what they were going through. I don't know what your situation was, and it's more of a selfish thing. It's me being selfish because I'm really kind of jealous. Like, you got up out of here. There's no more pain. There's no more suffering. There's no more stress. There's no more ease. You beat it. You went on to the other side. You're out into the galaxy. You're chilling. This is it. You don't got to argue with people on Instagram. You don't got to worry about bills. And I say that because one day when I was at church, back when I was back on my hype, I'm in the back, minding my business, and the preacher, he's up there doing his thing. He was in rare form today and had the crowd going, and he was like, how many of y'all love God? Everybody, yeah, we love the Lord. How many of y'all know that he's got a special place for you on the right hand in heaven for you? Oh, yeah. This and this and this and this and this. He's like, well, I got a question for you. If I could tell you that right now you could go be with the Lord, how many of y'all would go? And the room got kind of quiet. And my hand shot up. I stood up, waved my hand, and they just kind of looked at me like something was wrong with me, and it threw him off. I could tell it threw him off because he wasn't expecting anyone to say that. And everyone kind of looked at me, and I was like, well, were you paying attention to what you said? You literally just said, if you knew for a fact you could get into heaven, would you go right now? Like, yeah, I'm out of here. There's nothing else to do. Like, isn't that the whole game? To ride off into the cosmic oasis? And that's when I knew like something was wrong with me. Like, no, it's not even gonna say it's unfortunate. The way that I'm built now, there was a time where thinking about someone passing away or leaving is like, I was like, oh no, this is so terrible. Now I see it as you're free. Like, you're out of here. No more pain, no more bills, no more, like, and it's not that I'm on this weird metaphysical plane where I've outthought it. It's just everyone's got a time clock and you never know. Like, I didn't just one day mysteriously come to this. It was through the loss of the multiple loved ones, even people I don't know. Like, having empathy for someone that you don't know, that drains you too. Like, there was a point where I was in the business of feeling bad for everybody. Like, oh, this happened, that happened, and it physically takes a lot of your energy away from you. So while it's upsetting that this famous person passed away, like, in the famous words of Cameron, niggas die every day, B. Like, there's someone right now whose loved one died the same day that my man Kobe did. And for the rest of time, that's going to be the news of the day. Not that this person's loved one died, not that they were going through something. It's going to be that this famous person's died. And this literally is the reason why I'm talking to you right now. Today is the best day ever. You never know. I can't go back and save Kobe. I can't do it. I don't even know if I'm going to get tomorrow. All I've got is today. And this is why I say it over and over and over again. I don't say it to try to convince myself. I say it as a reminder. People have plans for tomorrow. People think they're going to get up. Like, every day that you're drawing breath, you should be trying to do the best, not only for yourself, but for your family, for everybody. Why wait until tomorrow? Why reminisce about bad things in the past? Like, it's literally the reason why I want to do what I'm doing. Like, it's a daily reminder. Like, here it is. People think money solves all your problems. My man was worth close to $1 billion, and that couldn't save him. So if money can't save you, if fame can't save you, maybe you should just be living your life for you. Because, I mean, yeah, that's great. You'll be missed. People will throw you some shout outs. But, I mean, after a while, the shout outs are fade. You're going to be remembered by what you did. What you did for people, how you affected other people. That's what's going to remember. That's what's going to leave a longer legacy than anything. But, oh, that was a dark way to go on vacation. But, oof. So, I've got to go on vacation. I got to take these dogs. So, same thing. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tru Sav Comedy, all of that. Again, if you know anybody who does music, graphic design, arts, anything like that, I fuck with local people. I don't want to go to one of these sites that hooks me up with all these weird artists that I've never met. If you know somebody personally, of course, I'm saying I'm paying top dollar. If you do it really good, I'll shout you out. All that type of stuff. besteverypodcast@gmail.com. If you want to send me a link to their stuff, I'm fucking with it. I am forgetting something really important. What am I forgetting? Intro, outro, music, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the good stuff. Wow. So I'm going to the South Pacific, some island, I guess. I'll take a lot of pictures. I'll bring you something back. Again, live every day like it's your last one, man. You never know. You might not get I can't get yesterday back. I might not get tomorrow. That makes today the best day ever. Aloha and all that stuff. I'm going to holla at y'all.